The Tagaran warrior screamed like a child deprived of her favorite toy. Dresden thought he might shriek as well if a 3-foot-long insect ripped his foot off at the ankle. Since it wasn't his foot, he returned to the task at hand, smashing ants. Black and angry, numerous enough to challenge 5 squads of Biona's infantry, they had come from deep underneath the ground to threaten Stone Clan cattle. Dresden did his part, jabbing wildly with a long spear. Larafin kept them in lines and fighting together. If a warrior was wounded or exhausted, he switched out with another warrior to replace him, exactly as the goddess's holy texts prescribed. Drawing on stories heard from the Jungo expedition, Dresden found his best strategy was to support Drail. In guarding the big lizard's flank, he protected the warrior, letting him do what he did best, end a life. Mouse, Dresden pointed at the monstrous ant squirming around injured, a victim of the Saurian's hammer, but not entirely dead. Ralph easily finished it off. The 3 made a good team, both of his comrades willing to take a bit of direction from the dwarf. Donald was to his left, opposite of Drail, content to listen to Dresden as well. Officially, a Minotaur with the taken name of Goad the Destroyer was in command of the 7-man squad, but he didn't seem to possess the will to order them into action. "Thane!" Goad shouted from his anchoring position. "Look at the other squads!" It was no wonder the captain was letting them stray from their training. 2 squads holding the right were entirely tangled. They had warriors down and stood in danger of being cut off from their mounts. In the middle, the so-called Alpha Dog squad had given up so much ground that Goad's team was exposed. Behind them, the last squad, their support, was calling for the rest to pull back entirely. "We're not pulling back without orders from the captain," Dresden yelled. He thought about calling out some clever war cry. Victory and glory came to mind, or perhaps fear the Stone Clan. But he didn't think the ants would be particularly intimidated, so he just let it go. 4 dead ants later, Goad began yelling, "Pull back! Come on, Dresden, you stubborn bastard, pull back!" A quick look revealed they were surrounded. The other squads were a quarter of a mile away. "Goad, fight left, fight left!" Larafin and his second-in-command, a towering centaur, were riding in fast to aid the cut-off squad. "How did this happen?" Mouse asked. "I guess they didn't want the glory," Dresden yelled in answer and moved to his left. It only took minutes for Larafin and Ceteris to carve a path for them, and an hour later, Dresden was thanking members of the other squads for leaving the field. Goad's squad boasted of their bravery, stopping just short of calling the others out as cowards. Hello and welcome to Auckland. This is Dresden's Tale, and that was a nice, exciting opening of Dresden's little adventure here. This is episode 17, and I'm your guide, Lewis Nichols. This is the story of a grumpy dwarf who avoids using his greatest skill at all costs. Now, you heard Dresden's back with some of his buddies, some people we've met in the past. Mouse is there, Drail's back, and we even have Donald, and of course, all led by Captain Larafin. Now, we are not too far away, just a 3-day march south of Parncilia, in the plains of Auckland. Auckland is a region, a biome on Moldav. It's mostly high grasses, although there are patches of forest around. It's rough country for the most part, but not too bad for grazing cattle, and there's farming as well. It's a fairly large area, probably about the size of a small state. Maybe the size of Kentucky would be a good example. Although the terrain's going to be a lot more like parts of central Oklahoma, for those few of you who might know what that means. It's a fairly well populated area. A lot of the Stone Clan live here. They run large ranches. A lot of the food for Parncilia, what doesn't come from the sea, comes from the farms and ranches in the area that the warriors are foraying in at the moment. Now, this is the 19th day of Jute, the middle of summer. It's a very warm day. Clouds are here and there, a few thunderstorms moving around the area, but for the most part, it's good fighting weather. A little bit of wind blowing around, just enough to keep you cooled off, and certainly don't have to worry about getting a chill. And we're working on chapter 16 here. 2051 years after the fall. I take full credit, you know, Mouse Biter joked. Look at the facts. I crossed over to Parncilia, joined the militia, and on our very first mission, the squad sets a new record for valor. Drail gave him a solid whack with his muscular tail. Credit for the squad goes to Goad. It's the rule. But Drail swatted him again as the pterodon tried to object. Everyone was laughing, so the loquacious reptilian bowed in defeat. Who am I to break the rules? We all know you came to Parncilia for the sewer rats, Donald told him. And the roaches. You have the most wonderful cockroaches in this city, Ralph added, snapping his beak. 2 hours after that, they were sitting around an outdoor table at the ranch house serving as the camp base. The squad ate steak and drank the best ale Dresden had ever tasted. Someone said it was brewed especially for dwarves, and it came from the ranch master's private stock. No one from the squad shied away from feasting, with the other squads looking on from lines of tents 50 feet away. They were enjoying pots of beans and lizard broth. To Goad, hero of the day, Mouse raised his cup in a long-fingered hand. Goad, they shouted. The Minotaur choked. Without Drail's hammer and Dresden's brains, we'd be eating beans with the rest of them. He kept his voice low. Well then, to all of us, Donald said. All heroes of the day, if you ask me. A dwarven girl came around with fresh mugs and laid out plates of bread, cheese, and sausage. My master will be very happy that such brave warriors came to our aid. He'll be jealous that he was not there to join you. Goad asked the girl, Who's your master, sweet cakes? She cocked her head at the term of endearment, maybe offended, maybe not. This is the Driscoll estate, Sugarhorns, as in Rockslide Driscoll. I'm sure you've heard of my uncle. All my friends in the militia of Lorne look up to him like a hero. Dresden and the others laughed at their squad leader being made to look silly. The Minotaur chuckled with them. My apologies, warrior. It is an honor to be served by a fellow fighter. What is your name? You can call me B. Egan Rockslide Driscoll was a hero of the Stone Clan and across the Keld Nation. He'd served in most of the major battles of recent memory. Just as importantly, he was an expert stoneworker. His claim to fame was a massive carving of another dwarven hero. The face of Henry Three Forks dominated a 300-foot cliff face above the bay opposite of Parncilia. She likes you, Donald said as she walked away. Dresden felt a blush. She was all over Goad. It's true, the squad leader nodded. Not really fair, but true nonetheless. All Minotaur have that effect on women, especially the cute ones. And she's certainly a cute one. Goad didn't care much for keeping his voice low. Whatever, watch this, Mouse said. He flapped a wing, accidentally knocking over Dresden's ale. Ah! The dwarf cussed as the sticky liquid went all over him and Donald sitting next to him. Oh, so sorry. I didn't mean to spill your drink, Dresden. He yelled out his words. Moments later, Bee was on the spot with a cloth rag trying to dry the liquid. She nearly knocked Donald out of the way to get to Dresden. Let me get that for you. That clumsy idiot spilled your ale all over. She wasn't shy about sponging his lap thoroughly. Dresden was in a panic. Bee was only doing her job, he told himself, but he was responding to her attentions in all the most unintentional of ways. She was a hero's niece and likely ran the whole estate. He knew she wasn't interested in him, but couldn't keep himself in check. Meanwhile, the whole table was laughing hysterically. Don't pull back without orders, Ralph cheered him on. Oh my. Bee rubbed too hard and found the source of his embarrassment, causing everyone else to laugh even harder. What are all you a fuss about? She let him go and turned to chastise him. No more ale for the lot of you. I'm sure you have plenty more fighting tomorrow. She took Mouse Biter's mug and handed it over to Dresden, then started cleaning the table to everyone's boos and groans. Larafin came over to shut them up. Don't worry about that, Miss B. We have a fine cleaning staff. You lot need to move your gear into the loft of that barn. It's yours until you do something stupid, which will likely be tomorrow. And that is it for Chapter 16. So much excitement, more excitement than you can shake something at. We'll let Dresden figure that out. I'm going to give you a break today. I'm just going to say do the stuff and not name off the big litany of requests. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. There's tons and tons more material to come. We have several chapters left just to get through the first season. I want to say once again that all your comments, they certainly are appreciated, but any requests for more information or show topics and such, things about history and physics and things that you might be interested about Dresden's world, those are the kinds of things that I'm going to talk about over in our companion series, Nuts and Bolts. So feel free to leave those in the comments and you will get a response, hopefully a fast one. The better the idea, the quicker I'll get to it. So thank you all once again for stopping by, and I hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful day.